Do I go into this? Probably. All right, listen. So I'm trolling around on Craigslist, right? This is the story of how I got this TV. I find a very appropriately costed TV, and you always got to be skeptical when you get like a really good deal on Craigslist, because it's always, you know, Craigslist is by nature sketchy, right? Everything about Craigslist, like the concept, the interface, every dealing I've ever had on Craigslist has been, it's just sketchy as this shit comes. Basically, it's a TV and there are like no details, and it's just like TV for sale. And there's no number. Sometimes they give you the number. That reduces the sketch factor slightly, but there's like an email. It was posted like 15 minutes before I checked, and I was like, oh shit, I like found this like a random weekday morning. I'm like the first one here, so maybe this isn't a scam. I don't know. So I email the guy, and I'm like, yo, my name is so-and-so. You gotta open, you have to make... One of you has to make an effort to reduce the sketch factor of the interaction, right? That's just how it goes. So I'm like, hey, this is my name. You know, like I'm a student in the area. I noticed that you have like this TV available. Is it still available? If so, you know, like I asked questions about the TV, and I was like, would I be able to check it out? And if so, like where and when, you know, like very comprehensive, like everything this person needs to know. And it's like written in full English, which reduces the sketch factor. I receive 25 minutes later a response that says, yes, it's available. I don't have information. There's no like phone. There's nothing else on the Craigslist page that says contact this number, come to this place. You know, it's just, he wants to sell this TV. And I'm the first person to come and say, hey, I want the TV, right? And so this is his response was, yes, it's available. I respond with, oh, that's fantastic. Basically copy and paste the second half of my first email is where and when, like, would you be available today? Like, if so, like, can I come see it? If so, you know, like, where can I meet you? Like, you know, would you prefer cash or PayPal or like whatever? And the man says, yeah, I'm free today. That's like all. That's the next reply. Okay, cool. That's nice. I respond to the man's email. I respond with brevity. I say, okay, where are you? You know, because like, I guess I got to get to his level. Maybe I'm like over offering. Maybe it's like, I can't read this shit. Where are you is basically what I say. And he says, call me at this number. I'm like, okay, fine. I call the person. No one picks up. I wait 20 minutes. I call the man. He doesn't pick up. I give a detailed voicemail. I'm like, okay, like, hey, this is, you know, I put on like the nice voice. I'm very friendly, you know, I'm like really interested in this TV. I would just love if I could, you know, and he doesn't respond. And then I call him again out of desperation, like an hour later, and he picks up and he's like, hi. And I'm like, hi, I'm calling about the TV. And he's like, who is this? I was like, hi, I'm the only motherfucker trying to pick this TV up from you. There's like no ambiguity here. We've been having like a series of interactions. There's context. Holy fuck. Like, hey, I'm calling like about is this the right number? Like, it's about the TV on Craigslist. He's like, oh yeah, there's a TV. It's like, fucking great. Where can I find you? He's like, oh yeah, okay. Where do you live? It's like, come on, dude. Can you make, like, I believe fully that this is ineptitude, not like this man trying to scam me, right? So I'm like, okay, I live in like this area. And he's like, all right, this is what you're going to want to do. And he proceeds to give me a series of 35 steps of getting from my general area to a major road to find his house. He doesn't give me his address, which is, he's leading me to his house. So it's not like it matters. Like, he wants me to come to his house. He could just give me his address. But instead he's like, all right, what you're going to want to do is like go to the corner with the old oak tree, right? Not the maple, the oak. You're going to want to go like 6 paces due west, you know, look to the sun. There should be like a little scarecrow there. And then like hidden inside, there'll be like a burner cell phone. You call a man, you tell him that Terrence sent you, he'll tell you that like the eagle has landed in the nest, and then you'll like go down the road, and then you'll like beware of like the skeletons guarding the entrance. It's like I'm like Peppo G writing this down because he's not. I'm like, hey, can you give me a second to write this down? He's plowing ahead. I'm like, okay, scarecrow, fucking eagle landed in the nest, and then he's like, was that clear? Can I call you on the way? He's like, well, I don't know, I'm busy. Can you give me the address? Which is how I started this story, by the way. And he's like, you know what? I'll just give you the address. After clarifying the directions, I'm like, wait, so the scarecrow, do I tell him Terrence sent me or Clarence sent me? He's like, it's Terrence. Also, here's the address. Just put it into Google Maps. Okay, cool. I've got an address, right? I go to this man's address. It's a nice enough neighborhood. It's like 30 minutes away. It's not, you know, it's like a suburban area. I walk up to the door. I ring the doorbell. All hell breaks loose. It's like, have you ever heard, like in a cartoon, you know how like if someone's like rummaging around in a back room, there's like crashing and rumbling and dust clouds, and there's like a cat screeching and shit, you know, and someone's like, my leg, like that happens. Someone comes to the door, opens it up. It is what I can only describe as the embodiment of Midwest emo core music in an adolescent teenager. He's like a 14-year-old boy with like a striped shirt, and he's got like a somewhat Bieber cut / bowl cut, like dark hair, and he's like brooding, and there's a dog between his legs going absolutely fucking apeshit. This dog is like frothing at the mouth. This kid could not seem more uninterested in what's happening. He opens the door and just waits for me to speak. And I'm like, hi, I'm here for the TV. And he's like, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah. Is your dad home? Like, I'm here for a TV, like Craigslist, you know? And he's like, who the hell are you? Like, is there any like adult in the house? His dad walks up behind. This man, he's wearing quite short shorts, the kind that like white people wear on safari in the savannah, you know, when they've got like the hat and like the brown thing and the shorts that are like too high up, like in the movies and shit. He's got shoes that are like fucking, I don't know if you've seen like Osiris brand shoes. They're like too big for your feet, and they're like not, people don't really tie them, but they're like sort of hip, like skater shoes kind of, but they're like scarlet blood red. It's very chic for someone to be wearing these shoes, but not this man. He's like 6'8". He's a fucking giant. He's one of the palest motherfuckers I've ever seen. He's a ginger. And he looks like Boris Johnson's wackier younger cousin. He's got like man-child vibes. It's like if Ed Sheeran and Boris Johnson had a child together. That would be this man, who's a grown-ass man who's like 6'8", wearing these crazy fucking shoes, right? He comes to the door. This person who doesn't look anything like him, but I assume is his son, is still like at the door, like staring daggers into me. And I'm just sitting here pleasantly waiting to receive a television. Oh yeah, no, he's just let him in. And this kid and the son is like, who the hell is this guy? To his dad. And his dad is like, no, let him in. He's here for the TV. And he was like, oh, I thought he was like a fucking Jehovah's Witness or something, you know? He was just like, the kid is weird vibes coming off of this kid. I don't really understand what's happening. But apparently he thought I was a Jehovah's Witness with like my hair and facial hair and like an Istanbul t-shirt and like ragged jeans, saying I'm here about a TV. But whatever. He's like, let him in. I enter the door. The child doesn't get out of the way. He sidesteps, okay? I walk inside. The dog, which is like a purebred poodle type, although maybe there's a little bit of like spaniel in there. Very curly hair, very rambunctious, attacks me and bites my leg tries to tear it off, right? I behave calmly. I have dog of my own who is very aggressive. I know that someone has to do something about this, and I just want my fucking TV. So I'm standing there. Dog is like aggressively tearing at my jeans, just looking like, haha, he's friendly. Finally, someone decides to grab the dog by the scruff and pull him back like, sorry, he doesn't usually do that. I'm like, it's fine. Think my leg is bleeding, but it's probably fine. I can tend to it after I get my fucking TV. I then walk through the living room. He's like, sorry for the mess, which he actually did mention on the phone that there would be a mess. It is there's boxes and unboxes, like various belongings strewn to like knee height across the living room. There's no rhyme or reason to what there's like bulk groceries from like Costco. There are boxes of like, there's like some vinyls, there's like bedding. It's fucking crazy. I can't get a vibe. Like, is there an adult in the between this man-child and like the weird emo core Midwest? Like, is there a woman in this house? I'm desperate for like normalcy. Anyway, I traverse. He's like, yeah, sorry for the mess. Because like adults say that, right? I say that all the time when people are coming to my room, even if I've just got like, stuff isn't in place. I'm like, oh, sorry, it's a mess. And what I mean by that is, I left like 2 books on the floor or whatever. But I was not prepared for this. So I swim through the man's living room, right? Dog is fucking going apeshit in whatever bedroom they locked it into. Emo core child is staring, and he's like, yeah, just down here. Points to a door. Doesn't go first. The door is the stairs to the basement. I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound. I don't ask questions. I open the door. I walk downstairs. Very long set of stairs into a basement. The basement is finished. There is waiting an empty room. There's like a 75-inch TV on the wall in front of a couch, and an identical smaller version on the ground beside that's like being propped up against a chair. There's no other furnishings. They're both playing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, like the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, simultaneously, which is a weird vibe. Also, no one's around, no one's watching the movie, but I guess it's to demonstrate to me that the TV works because I wanted to see it, right? Which is like, okay, cool. So, I'm there. I'm like, oh, this is the TV. He's like, this is the TV. It doesn't have a remote, but here's like a replacement universal remote or whatever that works. And so he, shows me that it works. I give him the money. He looks at me and he's like, you know what? Here you go. $125 is fine. It was listed for $150. He gives me back $25. I'm like, hey, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Like, I'm a student. Every little bit helps. I gave you the $150. I don't know why you're giving me back. Like, if you don't, he was like, you just made this so easy for me, like you're such, it's always sketchy on Craigslist. And I just really appreciate how smoothly this transaction went. That was this man's words. He was like, listen, man, there are a lot of weirdos on Craigslist. You just seem like a great guy, and you just made it great, no hassle. He gave me back $25. He was like, for your troubles. It's like, cool, thanks so much. I carry it out of the, dog freaking out, carry the TV, it's not that heavy. We walk out of the house. He helps me get it to my car. Fucking emo kid still standing there. Who just stands? He's just standing where we left him this whole time. And then the dog is fucking freaking out. No other sign of life. Anyway, so I go to my car and he's like, so what do you study? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing a PhD. He's like, oh wow. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing physics. Like, oh, okay, cool. Wow, physics. I was watching Hot Ones. I was like, yeah, I know Hot Ones. He's like, that Neil Tyson deGrasse? Yeah? I was like, I know Neil Tyson. He was like, amazing Hot Ones episode. It's like, you know what, man? I agree. It was an amazing Hot Ones episode. He was like, you'll be on that Hot Ones next, you know, soon with that Neil Tyson DeGrasse. And I was like, yeah, no, I love the show. I'm a big fan. I'll be on Hot Ones next, hopefully. That would be great. He's like, yeah, all right, well, listen, good luck. It's like, thanks. And then he left. And then I brought the TV home, which is cool. It was, everything about it was weird. Nothing happened that would like alarm. It was just so weird the whole way through. It was like exactly enough for like a random Twitch anecdote.